Right, 17 June 2020. And today I want to take you through a letter that was written to Mnangagwa by Zimbabwe millionaire businessman or multi-millionaire businessman, Frank Buyanga. And this letter has a chilling warning for Mnangagwa that his name, his family name, is about to be ruined by members of his family. The second warning is that Mnangagwa should not think that his family is always going to be in charge in Zimbabwe. And this is a real warning. And then the third revelation in that letter is that members of the Mnangagwa family have spoken up or against members of the military. It's all in this letter, and I'm going to reveal the letter to you. I'm going to post it on gambako.com. Unfortunately, I don't have the attachments. I'm still waiting for certain people to provide me with the attachments to that letter. So the total letter was 75 pages. Unfortunately, I only have the letter. I do not have the attachments. So as soon as I get that, I'm going to reveal it. So I want to show you also how this letter is linked to the current investigation against Delishu Nguwaya, the documents that Hopo Chingono has been showing. And then most important, I want to quickly show you why I have not taken any interest in that issue, the corruption investigation against Collins Mnangagwa and Delishu Nguwaya, why I have ignored it and I have not taken time to publicize it or to go along with it. So those are the 3 points that I want to deal with quickly in the next 10 minutes. So first and foremost, Shandom Teswa and Frank Buyanga, they have a son who is 5-year-old. I think it's called Daniel. We dealt with this issue here a number of times. And Shandel actually gave an interview to some of my people in Harare, which we published. And then the issue has been in the courts. Many courts involving many people. And Frank Buyanga and Chantel have each of them looked for protection from very senior government officials. So Frank Buyanga has looked for protection from General Chiwenga, and Shandom Teswa has looked for protection from the Mnangagwa family. Specifically, as is said in this letter, she has looked for protection from Auxiliary Mnangagwa and her son, Collins Mnangagwa. So that is what the letter says. And in March, I think it was the last day of March, Frank Buyanga raided at gunpoint his son, Daniel, and took the son away. When the son was taken away, there were more court cases. And eventually, Frank was reported to Interpol. So right now, there's a case or a report against Frank at Interpol. And this is what he's complaining about. He's complaining that Auxiliary Mnangagwa, Collins Mnangagwa, Delishu Nguwaya. So Delishu Nguwaya is the guy who is in jail now for some issue to do with supply of COVID materials. And I'll tell you more about that at the end of this interview. So he's complaining that the police are not acting on his complaints about Chantel because Collins and Auxiliary Mnangagwa are involved in stopping them from doing their job. That is the complaint. And then he's saying when a complaint is made about him, the police rush and take action and they take him to Interpol. And he's very angry about this. He has also copied this letter. So I forgot to mention this. The people that have copied this letter is General Chiwenga, Kembo Mohadi, J.F. Mudenda, Speaker of Parliament, Ziambi, Kazembe, Jok, Kumbirai Hodzi, T. Vimpov, Commissioner of the Human Rights Commission, E. Ngwadi. So this issue is no longer a personal issue between a man and his girlfriend and his son. This is a very serious issue. It's involving a lot of people. So the complaint has been made, but the warning is very, very serious, because this is a warning made to Mnangagwa to say you are not always going to be in charge of this country. And I don't know what that means, because that's a serious warning. Also, I mentioned last month that when Frank Buyanga raided his son at gunpoint, he was not stopped. He was not arrested. So the two factions in ZANU-PF, that is the Chiwenga faction and the Mnangagwa faction, they are each protecting one of their own. So, and I'm sure the police were unable to arrest Frank when he took his son. And if you look in this letter, he says, I recovered my son. He does not explain that he recovered his son at gunpoint. But that was not the first time. The first time when Chantel went and raided the child at school, she was accompanied by police. She was accompanied by a messenger of court. And she also drove away with the son without being caught. They did not catch her. They did not arrest her. So obviously the police and the Mnangagwa family on one side, and Frank Buyanga and the military guys on the other side. So the question would be, why would Collins Mnangagwa be interested in protecting Shandor Mteswa? It's odd, because there's no link. So the link here, according to a letter that was written by Frank Buyanga to the Judicial Services Commission, was that he suspects that Collins Mnangagwa is in love with Chantel Mteswa. Last month, I called Chantel Mteswa and I asked her, are you dating Collins Mnangagwa? And she said to me, no, I'm not dating Collins Mnangagwa. Then she proceeded to show me a picture of a boyfriend. They were sitting together. She sent me a picture of a boyfriend. I still have the WhatsApp conversation. And showed me that this is my boyfriend's, my boyfriend. My boyfriend is not Collins Mnangagwa. But however, there's obviously a connection that Frank Buyanga is making between Collins and Chantel. The question is, how does Delish Ngwaya come into the whole matter? Delish Ngwaya, apparently, according to Frank, called the judge in the case of Chantel Mteswa and Frank, the Justice Manzunzu. There were records of the phone call made 15 minutes before the court case that showed that Delish Ngwaya called, and I think Auxilia Mnangagwa called the judge. And it's all in these letters that I'm talking about. Some of them are in the public domain, some of them are not. So this is how Delish is involved. Frank accuses him of interfering into this matter. Obviously, I can't say if Delish is somehow involved with Chantel, but this is how the matter is. And so I've given you how everyone is connected to this matter, and the threat that was made by Frank that Mnangagwa's family name is going to be dragged into the mud, and this is because of members of his family. And in the words were, at this stage, members of the family may seemingly control the country, but they certainly will not control destiny. Right, that is the threat that was issued here by Frank Buyanga in a letter to Mnangagwa. So this is a letter to the president from a citizen. And he also complains that members of the police have been going to his properties. Armed members of the police have been going to his properties. Now, I want to link this to the current documents that Hopo Chingono has been putting out. These documents were also brought to me at some point to publish them. And I did not publish them. I was reluctant to publish these documents because, firstly, I believe that this is a factional fight. When you look at the document, the amounts involved, they are very, very little. 60,000, 1 million, those kind of amounts. and then a number of photos, some letters. There's a case of overpricing, but I don't think there's a real case of corruption. If you were to take this to court, it's not something that you can say is a big case of corruption. So when I saw these documents, I thought to myself, this is more of a factional fight. I don't want to be involved. However, further than that, I was very annoyed, especially with Shandom Teso, because when I produced my last video on this case, Shandom Teso called me and she accused me of receiving money in my FNB account from Frank Buyanga. So she said, I understand that you have received money from Frank Buyanga into your FNB account. Firstly, how did she know that I bank at FNB? So I was annoyed because I thought people were starting to look into my affairs, into my private documents, and whoever had received these documents that are related to this case, maybe a private investigator or whatever, have they also been digging into who else is involved with the Mnangagwa family or with the Buyanga side. So as far as I'm concerned, the current case that we're seeing before us of drugs is involving more of a personal issue that has been dragged into the public and is starting to drag more and more people, but it's not really a fight against corruption. If you look at it at the bare facts, there's not really much. There's also the issue of members of G40 who were trying to bring me those documents in a very forceful manner. When I told them, please wait, let me look at these documents, they were very forceful. They leaked my chats, my private chats, to Opo Chungono, who published them on his platform, to make me look as if I was somehow involved in suppressing the information or in the whole matter. So this is the issue, the facts, the bare facts about this issue. Frank Buyanga, his private fight with the mother of his child has spiraled, and this letter to Mnangagwa exposes the depth and detail of everything. I wish I had the PDF letter, then I could publish it for you, but unfortunately all I have is what I'm going to put on Gambako.com. Right, that is it for today. If you're watching this on WhatsApp, send it to as many people as possible. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, please like, comment, and share.